Yell it back.
Oh, bye.
All right, Austin, you're on.
All right, I'm Austin. Mom. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay. Okay, so raise your hand if you like fast cars. There you go. Raise your hand if you like growing plants. Raise your hand if you like music. Alright. Now there are very few who may not like music. Most people enjoy plugging in their headphones for hours. It's like I'll just listen to music for hours just studying. It's very common. And so I'm here today to talk about the science behind why we like music and how music production has evolved based on those principles. And so let's go to the biological perspective on how we like music. The brain produces feel-good hormones, but how does it do it when we listen to music? Well, it's actually a link between the amygdala and the hippocampus and the limbic system, which is the emotional area of the brain. That links it to the prefrontal cortex, actually. And as neuroscientist Dr. Valerie Selamport from McGill University Montreal found, when we're listening to music, the most advanced areas of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, tie into the most ancient, like the amygdala and the hippocampus. So you're basically tying your emotional side of your brain with your logical and reasoning, which this combination is just absolutely stimulating to the brain. And from a psychological perspective, our interest in music, as composer Leonard Meyer said, that it's all about what we expect and whether or not we get it. And the idea behind this is that our brain has an addiction to prediction. Basically, when we listen to music, we want to know what's coming next. And so when we get it right, when we predict it correctly, our brain rewards us with a little bit of dopamine. And so the musicologist David Huron from my home state, the Ohio State University, discussed his theory that it was an evolutionary benefit for us to determine, to predict, the correct sound. Say, rustling in the grass. If you heard rustling in the grass in the distance, if it was a lion rustling in the grass, or if it was a monkey rustling in the grass, one is clearly more dangerous than the other. So that would just, keep us alive. And now that we know the science behind what we like, why we like music, we can see how it's applied in music. So as an EE major, we learned last week from Professor Duncan, actually the different emotions, different frequencies can create. And so I won't explain exactly what each chord means on the keyboard for time's sake, but for happier songs, there's actually, we play general major chords. So these white keys right here, like the C, like the minor third and the perfect fifth, which evokes positive feelings. And then we usually have sadder chords for, not sadder chords, but we usually play minors for sadder songs. So we like these black keys, like the minor third. And so that was just, and these are different foundations, music producers can use to, add emotion, or kind of manipulate emotion in music. And then for rap, there's actually another, rap has also evolved, different genres evolved based on another music principle, which is basically this point that Dr. Selamport, again from McGill University, that he makes, if a piece develops in a way that's both slightly novel and still in line with our brain's prediction, we tend to like it a lot. It's a point he makes in how basically that rap specifically I can show evolves it. So for example, we know three big guys like Notorious B.I.G. So this is one of the songs that is Hypnotized by Notorious B.I.G. And so the idea behind this is this was actually these visuals from Vox, Sel Caswell, in our interview with Martin Connor, who found Biggie to actually be very unpredictable and always changing, which satisfies this idea that we need songs to be in line with our prediction, but with a little twist at the end, which will make us hooked onto it. Biggie was very unique in that he had this very varying length in his rhymes. He had short, long, and then he also had different. His lines were it wasn't just like A B A B A B. It was something different each time. That's what made him a big hit. And then from the next guy, you might know this song, Eminem, "Lose Yourself," in which he just goes on to multi-word rhymes, and he just goes all out. This is just clearly just a lot more. And then in one one of the other things that made him big was sword. He also had a little bit of twist to it, which was that emotional aspect of music, which was, his, knees weak, palms are heavy, mom's spaghetti, you already know the lines. And you sing the song. And so that was kind of his, almost unique twist to a familiar genre already. That's what made us like Eminem. And then we go on to Kendrick Lamar. Who here likes Kendrick? Right? Kendrick's a good guy. Well, he's one of the top singers, artists right now in rap. And so there's actually a big thing about Kendrick is that he uses one of the most ancient methods of music, which is motives, motifs. This little da-da-da-da right here. This is a very familiar, sound. And you can see it repeats over and over again in this double line. What Kendrick does in his song Rigor Mortis right here is he almost replicates that exact same repetition in length and shortness and emphasis. So it's like a dun 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 dun. So the dun would be right here in the eyes in the battery. So it would, I think he says it as recognize Kendrick in the battery. So there's that little hook to it. And then the hook, I guess the unique twist to Kendrick, even in the familiar genre of rap, was that he had it's very hard to rap to his music. I don't know if anyone here has tried it, but it's just very almost unrappable. And he has this little twist where he constantly has this repeat, and it's not like everything rhymes. It's more like a rhythm and a beat, which is his own unique twist that made him a superstar. And so another, genre, not too far away, is actually EDM. You guys may have heard Martin Garrix. Has anyone heard Martin Garrix here? I've heard Martin Garrix. He's an EDM producer. They say EDM also follows this rule of being having a familiar kind of formula with a little twist to it. So in EDM, they found some people have actually not liked that so much. They don't like this formulaic build-up. Someone actually compiled 4 of Martin Garrix's big songs like Helicopter Wizard and Animals, and he puts them in soundtracks to show how each build-up is the same. How this build-up right here, the same length, almost the chorus is the exact same like the highs, this little introduction area, and then straight to the climax. You can see from the sound waves, they literally drop at the exact same place at the same times. People are asking themselves, especially as creative artists, is this really, creative at all? But the key in Martin Garrix's success was his ability to create these small little twists and differentiation that allowed us to get hooked on this kind of music, which follows the principle that Dr. Soundboard explained. And so, as I wrap this up, I think it's important to understand, that these are mostly theories, and even though we may not completely understand the human affinity for music, music is still one of the greatest parts of the human